Good morning. So today we're going to be meeting Upasna. Upasna is part of the third generation of the Apollo hospitals in India. In this conversation, we're going to be hearing about her journey into the healthcare world, about her learnings from the crisis, and stay until the end when she's going to be discussing her 2 million followers on Instagram. This channel is for entrepreneurs and business executives. We share insights, tips, ideas, interviews to help you become better leaders. So if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing on the link below. Let's get to the interview. Hello, Upasna. I am so happy to be hosting you at the Catalyst of Growth. I love to host women leaders, and we met last year at Harvard, and I was blown away by your strengths, by your will, by the way you wanted to move things. So I'm really, really happy to have you.
Thank you so much, Christine. Same here. When I came and met you guys, it just felt like family. And that's what I know, that I have family now in Lebanon. Really amazing. And, what I felt was Christine is a ball of energy and all positive energy put together, and to do so much for the world, and also inspires working women around the world. So, Christine, it's my proud privilege to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Upasna. So the way the conversation is going to go, we're going to start about your journey, and then we're going to talk about your learning from the crisis and anything you'd like to talk to young entrepreneurs. Ready?
Done. Yes. I did come from a very, very privileged background. So my family runs India's largest hospital chain, the Apollo Hospital family, and I'm the third generation. We have been the pioneers in private healthcare in India for the past 30 years, and we are very, very proud of it, very humbled this position that we have, and also are really happy that, people of the country and around the world trust us and come to us and trust their lives with us. And we do our best to make sure. We've been brought up with the fact that, we have to go the extra mile to help our patients get healthier and stay away from the hospital. So that's our focus right now, is we need to do things to make people stay away from the hospital. Being part of a family business, being part of a business where your grandfather started these hospitals, and today we are at 74 hospitals around the country with over 3,000 pharmacies, medical colleges, clinics, and you name it, in education. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. The way people perceive us, the way people they expect a certain kind of maturity from us. For us to step into those shoes of our previous generation is also really, really a lot of pressure, but I would say a very good type of pressure. I led a life like every fat girl. So my business started because I was a really, really chubby girl. And I realized I had to take control of my health for me to be mentally strong, mentally fit, and mentally stable. So I think that's where the whole thing started. People come to our hospital and crib about the huge bills and the prices and all that, but it's actually in their hands. If they make these basic small lifestyle changes, they don't have to pay these huge hospital bills anymore. So I use myself as an example, because I'm like most people out there. I did have an obesity issue. I did have a mental issue. I did have the issues that everyone who was a bit chubby had. The thing is that I try to get that not in medical language, because sometimes what doctors say may sound Greek and Latin to us. But what I wanted to do is to simplify it, and then after that bring it to people so that, they can understand much better. So this is what the whole journey is all about. And then I started a magazine, then a digital platform. And then I realized that so many people really wanted this kind of information, and they wanted medical health and support. Because we were seeing that the educated urban Indian population needed this information more than anybody. because that's where the lifestyle disease was stemming from, because of binge eating or work not managing their lifestyle correctly. So then we got around to becoming India's largest occupational health service provider. And that's where we stand today. And I'm very, very proud. Organization, the people that work with us, the people that contribute to our platform are also game changers in their own way. And they are making a huge impact towards making the world a much better place to live in. When I started my career and I went to college to study, I never wanted to be in business, or neither did I want to get into the family business. I wanted to be a clothing designer. And then I realized that one day my grandfather called me and then he said, Upasana, very few people, I mean, people are born into the families they are for a certain reason. There's some type of karma or some message God is sending to you. Every time I enter the hospital, I do this. That means, I'm entering a temple, and it's so amazing because so many people are actually healing there and being discharged. And I think that's something that drives me every day. The positivity, the energy, the selflessness, trying to heal as many people as possible is the thing that really drives me. What I would like to say to women in business is that you are not any way not equal to men. The minute I know it exists, but we have to change that mindset from within, and we have to change that mindset, we are equal to them. And that's when you can go ahead and rule the world. And why we also have the privilege of multitasking, and we also have the privilege to understand our priorities and put what's important at that given point of time. So a lot of women with children know that they have to put their kids first, and then their careers will take one step back at that time. But it doesn't mean that they have to ignore their career. They can multitask and do things that are important to them. And I think my message to them is to find the perfect work-life balance and never, never, never ignore yourself, because your worth is unmatchable. And you're in this position because you have the power to make a difference. And obviously, there's something special about you. Even women running a home and not going out to work is also, running a home is like running a business. Do not take life for granted, because the pandemic has showed us the importance of life. The value it's created in our life is, I think, the world got this shock. Saying that we don't need so many things in life. All we need is good health and a happy state of mind. But I also want to take this very positively, because that's the only way we can heal through this pandemic, is to learn from it, take it with a positive attitude and move on. Staying happy is a work in progress. I'm not happy all the time. What I do is I look for different healing mechanisms, and I try to spread my knowledge, communicating with people and letting them know that these different things are there to heal yourself actually makes me heal myself, because I use everything on myself. So the latest thing I've started doing, I'm born Hindu, but I started chanting, doing the Namyo Renge-kyo, the Buddhist chanting. And it's been just a week, but I'm seeing so much positivity and change. Then I did Deepak Chopra's 21-day meditation. That worked as well. Then I did a fitness challenge, and that worked as well. I keep on doing things because I know that I'm psyching myself that, yes, I'm making myself really happy. So one thing I keep telling myself is, I'm my own boss, and nobody else has that power to make me unhappy. I would teach them the basics of life, and then let them be free enough, and I would let them learn by themselves and then choose whatever they want to do in life. Because unless they have failures and unless they make mistakes, they are not going to learn. I've made tons of mistakes in my life, and my parents, the biggest gift that they've given me is their support, but they didn't completely correct me. And that's why today I've evolved into the person that I am happy being. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to be a huge support system, but I'm not going to choose what they want to do. I'm going to let them be. been a biggest support to me. So all the messages I put out there are a reflection of what we've learned together. I'm not a person who likes to work out, but I see him working out twice a day, and then I'm like, okay, well, I have to work out now. So I think this is done collectively. So my Instagram following numbers, because of my husband, complete credit to him. But he did help me build an individual personality for myself and mold me into a better version of myself. So he gets credit for that. Instagram is one of your best diaries. And it motivates you to do more and more and more good. So my grandfather used to ask me every day, what good thing did you do for the day? So now Instagram inspires me to do good things every day, because I look at my posts and I'm thinking, okay, what can I do next to help someone? So I think if you use social media like that, the world can become a much better place. But now there is so much positivity and they encourage me. So I love going on Instagram. And my social media, whether it be Twitter, YouTube, there's so much positivity that I really enjoy it. This is the time for us to stop, think, rethink, and also prioritize what we need in our life. And I think more than wealth is good health. Because only if you have good health, you can have peace of mind, even for your loved ones. And COVID has taught us that health is the most important. And it's in your hands. Most of the cures are in your kitchen. Whenever you open that fridge door unnecessarily, think about your health and your kitchen and your pockets, and then you will make smart choices.
Thank you so much, Upasna, for helping people focus on their mental health, on their physical health, to make sure that they stay out of hospital as much as they can. So yes. Thank you so much for your insights. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you very soon in person, and not only in Zoom, and in Lebanon, I hope one day.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. See you.